There's a statement made by Shakespeare. You all know Shakespeare, the great playwright. Shakespeare said these words. I love it. He says, sweet are the uses of adversity. That's a deep statement. In other words, he's telling us when things are adverse, when things are in crisis, don't panic, use them. Use them for the positive result. Everything that happens to you could be used to produce something good. How do you become successful when everybody else is crumbling around you? How do you make it through the system when the system has spat you out? What do you do when you are no longer needed by a company? How do you handle the crisis of life? What do you do when even friends abandon you and can't help you? Or when your company has to be shut down, or when you lose a business? What do you do when there's so much pressing on you from creditors? How do you survive when you've been working on a job for 20, 30 years and then they lay you off? What do you do when you got to take your kids out of private school and put them in public school? What do you do when you have so much stress in your marriage because of financial problems that it's causing you to have difficult times sleeping with your spouse? Crisis. One of the richest men in America, his name is John Huntsman, billionaire. Here's what he said as a result of his crisis. I quote, "If there is a silver lining to bad times, it is this: when facing severe challenges, your mind is normally at its sharpest." Now look at the statements in that statement. He said, when you are under the biggest pressure, that is when your mind is normally at its sharpest. Another quote I got from him is this one. He said, humans seldom have created anything of lasting value unless they were tried or hurting. He said, we don't produce anything that's worth talking about unless we are under pressure. In other words, you're never trusted for the things you claim. You are always trusted for the things you survive. It is the test that creates credibility. Write it down. It is the test that creates trust. In other words, you never think that a crisis comes to conclude your life. It comes to give credibility to your life. Whatever you are making through the troubles right now, what you're going through, is going to give you the respect of other people observing you. There are people who are praying that you fail, and then they'll trust you when you don't. Successful people are always survival testimonies.